really love this. Like, it's just a really simple pair of shorts, but it looks really good. And you have your darts, you have your pockets, both patch pockets, and then these I don't know what this type of pockets is called, but we have that, and it just looks really nice. I think the fabric also adds to it. I really like my choice of fabric as well. Okay, so we start out with our fabric folded over, and then you want to make sure that the width that you have here is wide enough. So you take your thigh measurements, which would most likely be your widest horizontal measurements, divide that by 2, and make sure that you have at least that number, whatever it is divided by 2, you have at least that, with maybe like a few extra inches for like some allowance and everything. So once you are sure of that, the next thing that I'm just going to mark is the length of my shorts. And now I'm not too sure, I'm not 100% sure what length I'm going for, so I'm just going to mark, I think maybe about 18, because that's definitely, like, I'm definitely not going to need it longer than that. So I'm just going to mark 18, and then if I need to cut it shorter, then I'll definitely do that. So yeah. Now I'm going to come up here. This part is the waist, so this is going to be the hem area. So coming from the waist, we're going to come down, and the next point we're going to mark is my hip point, which is 8 inches from my waist. So this is basically the distance between your waist and your hip. So I'm just going to mark that. So that's my hip line, and then I'm also going to mark the depth of the crotch. Okay, so we have all of our horizontal lines: the waist, the hip, the crotch, and the length. Now we're going to be starting at the hip, and for the hip line, we're going to divide our hip measurement by 4, and then I'm adding an inch for sewing allowance. So I'm just going to quickly do that. And then, as you saw, I also did the exact same measurement that I did on the hip line. I did that on the waistline as well. And so now what we're going to do is, from that point that we marked on the waistline, we're going to measure from this point outwards. And what we're going to be measuring there is the waist measurement divided by 4, plus an inch for sewing allowance, and then another inch for your darts. That's if you're going to be putting in a dart, which I definitely recommend. So that's the measurement that I'm going to take. So I'm going to start from this point, and then I'm going to come out this way. On the crotch line, we're going to take our thigh measurement, divide that by 2, not 4, divide it by 2, and then add an inch for sewing allowance. You could actually add more for your sewing allowance depending on how loose or how fitted you want your shorts to be. I think I'm going to use maybe an inch and a half for my sewing allowance, because I'm not going for a super baggy look, but I also don't want it to be, you know, too fitted. And so I also took the measurement that I have on the crotch line. I took that and took the same measurement on the thigh, because I think for these shorts I just want the legs to be straight. But if you're going for a more like narrow width at the hem of your shorts, then you definitely want to maybe from that point come in by maybe an inch on each side, or maybe an inch and a half on each side of the hem of your shorts. But I want a straight leg, at least that's what I think right now. So I'm going to connect all of these points together and then proceed to pin them and then cut it out. Okay, so before I cut this out, I just thought I should quickly explain. So you can see that from the waist to the hip line, it's a straight line connecting that point that we measured to this point right here. Now from that point to what we have here at the crotch, there's a curved line. So you want to make sure from your hip line to your crotch line, you connect that with a curved line like this, like you can see here. And then at the waist and the hip line are also connected on the outer side of my shorts, as you can see here with this slightly tilted line. So this is what it looks like, and this is what it's going to look like when I cut it out. So I'm just going to cut it out now. After doing all of that, you should have a shape just like this, and you should have two pieces because our fabric was folded over. So now I'm going to cut the back of the shorts, because these two pieces are the two front pieces of the shorts. So I'm going to use these to cut the back pieces. Okay, so what you're looking at here is my folded over fabric with the front pieces that we just cut laying on top of it. I'm about to cut it, but like I keep looking at the two sides of this fabric, because this beautiful fabric has, like, this is the actual front of the fabric, and then the lighter part is actually the back, the wrong side of the fabric. But the thing is, I feel like I like the back of the fabric more than I like the front for these shorts especially. So I'm thinking I could possibly make like this wrong side of the fabric to be the front of my shorts. I don't know, let me know what you think, like if you prefer the darker side or the lighter side to be the front of the shorts. But I think I'm definitely going to go with the lighter side. But I still have so much fabric, so I'm definitely going to be using this fabric again in a different project, so maybe I could use the other side then. But anyway, yeah, back to the tutorial. So we have our shorts here, or the front of our shorts here, and also I know the fabric is a bit busy, so it might be hard to see, but I do have like almost 2 inches here, almost 2 inches of like gap between the actual where the shorts end and where the fabric ends. And you want to leave that allowance there, because if you notice, especially if you look at your jeans, your pants, most of the time, except maybe with like joggers or stuff like that, the back is usually wider than the front. And so for this, we're going to extend, and this is only going to be done on the inside part. So this is like the part that is going to end up on the side and on the outer thigh. So this is only going to be done on the inner thigh area, where we're going to add an extra 1.5 inches, and we're just going to mark that all down the leg and then down the center front as well. So we're just going to do that, add the 1.5 inches, connect the crotch, and then extend again, and then add the 1.5 inches down. So I'm going to do that and cut it out, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a closer look. So this is the front piece, and so you can see the extra 1.5 inches right here, and it comes all the way down, and at the hip line it then curves and then extends once again, and then all the way down the leg it has the 1.5 inches. So this is what it looks like. On this other end it's exactly the same, but we have the extra allowance on the inner thigh, like I said. So these are all the 4 pieces that we have right now. Okay, so I took a quick snack break, and I've decided that I'm going to put like front pockets, those side pockets on our shorts. Initially I was thinking I would just put like those patch pockets on the back, so we just have 2 on the back. But yeah, I think we should also do side pockets, so I think I'm going to do the side pockets and the back pockets. Let's see how that goes. The next thing we're going to do is to take the front and then carve out the space, like the slot for the pockets. So that's, I'm just going to put the back pieces aside, and then I think first of all we can cut the waistband and also the patch pockets for the back. So let's do that. So for my waistband, it's going to be one really long elastic, one really long rectangular piece, and the thickness, because it's going to be folded over, so I think in terms of width, 5 inches should be fine. And then of course the length depends on the measurement of your waist and of course you're going to add in a few extra inches as well, just because the front part is going to kind of overlap a bit. So that's just what I'm going to cut out right now, and then we'll do the pockets. So here's what my waistband looks like, and this is how wide it's going to be by the time it's folded over. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for 8 inches in terms of length, because remember we're going to fold it over at the hem, at the mouth of the pocket to hem it, and then of course we're going to fold it over around the edge to attach it to the shorts. So I think 8 inches is fine, so I'm going to mark 8 inches right now. So 8 inches, and then yeah, we could do 7 inches wide. Yeah, so I'm just going to cut out this square or rectangle and then divide it into 2. So these are going to be the 2 pockets. Okay, these are the 2 pockets. I think I might trim it down a bit because now they look kind of big, but yeah, these are the 2 pockets. Also, maybe I could give it this shape at the bottom. I don't know, I probably would do it this way. So yeah, so I have this patch of fabric here, and now I'm going to place, this is one of the front pieces of my shorts, so I'm going to place it here on the fabric just like this. So I'm letting the fabric extend inwards because this is kind of what the pocket is going to be. Now I know I definitely want to be able to fit my phone into my pocket. I don't want one of those like really small ones, so I think it has to be deep enough that my phone won't fall out of my pocket when I sit down. So this is about 12.5 inches deep, which I think is fine, because about half an inch is going to be gone by the time we attach the waistband, and then by the time you carve out the mouth of the pocket, that's going to open this up to somewhere around here. And this is like, you know, this is deep enough that if your phone is inside, when you take a seat, it doesn't just like fall out of the mouth of the pocket. So I think 12.5 inches is fine. And then in terms of how wide this is at, like from the waist to this point, yeah, that's like 6.5 inches. I think that's good. So I'm just going to trace my shorts this way, like that. So here's what it looks like after cutting it out. So as you can see, it's like I just followed the shape of my shorts, and this is what the pocket is going to look like. So when I slide in my hand, kind of like that. And now I'm going to cut 3 more of these because we need 2 of each. We need 2 pieces for 1 pocket, and since we're doing 2 pockets, we're going to need 4 in total. So I'm going to use this to trace out 3 more and cut them out. After cutting all of the pieces for my pockets, this is one piece of my shorts right here, and I just want to show you how it's going to. So I have 2 of them here, and then I lay my shorts on top of it like this. And what I'm going to do next is to actually, because I want like a peep of the pockets to actually be showing through, so with the front layer of the pocket things and then my shorts as well, I'm going to pin those 2 together, and then I'm going to actually cut the mouth of the pocket. If you want your pocket to stay hidden, then it's fine, you don't need to do this step, but I'm going to come in by I think maybe 3 inches, and then from my hip line I think I'm going to come up by about an inch. So from this point to somewhere here, I'm going to cut it out, and that would be like the mouth of my pocket. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do that for both front pockets, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it's going to look like, and so this is where my hand is going to slide in, and this is basically what my pocket is going to look like. These are our two front pieces, and so you can see how the pockets look right now. I think I really like that. Like, you can see the darker part of the fabric from the pocket hole. These are the back pockets, those are our back pieces, and that's my waistband. So these are basically all the pieces. All that's left to cut is actually like the two pieces that I would need for the zipper fly, which is going to be on the front. I'm not doing a side zip, so I'm doing a whole front zipper fly. I have a tutorial for that, so I'm not going to include the details of that here, just so that this video isn't longer than it needs to be. I would link that video in the description box, just in case you don't know how to do a zipper fly at the front of your pants or your shorts. It will be linked in the description box. So now I guess I'm just going to go ahead and cut that and then get straight into sewing. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, I finally decided to make this part, this lighter part, the front of my fabric, or the front of my shorts. So I think I'm going to start off with my front pockets, and what I'm going to do, you can see the pieces all laid out here. I'm going to take this piece that was cut, and I'm going to place it like this at the front. I'm going to sew with a straight stitch, just follow the curve all the way there, and then I'm going to turn it and flip it back to where it was. So it's going to, it's still going to look something like this. And then after that, I think I would go ahead to attach the two pieces of the pocket. So the piece that we just attached to this one, to the shorts, I'm going to go ahead and attach it from this point all the way around here and straight back up here. We're going to leave this upper part open, because by the time we attach the waistband, it's going to close off all of that. So I'm going to do that for the two front pieces before proceeding to join the legs of the shorts together and everything. So so that's what I'm going to do first. So let's go. So here we are. The pockets are securely attached, and I also went ahead and top stitched right here. I don't know if you can see it, just there's a straight line all the way here, just like, I don't know, I just think it looks nicer and more finished that way. And then for the pocket itself, I mentioned that I was going to sew all the way, this way, and that way, but I ended up leaving the side open and just sewing here and going up there, because by the time I sew the sides down, like, it's going to close this side as well, the same way the waistband is going to close up this upper area. So so I just wanted to correct that. So you can just, for like to join the two pieces of your pockets, you can just go in sort of like an L shape. And so that's that with these two. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be going into details about the zipper area, because I do have a full tutorial for that, which will be linked in the description box. So next up, I'm actually going to take the back pieces and I'm going to attach my pockets. So these are just your standard basic patch pockets. So you hem the mouth of the pocket with a double roll. That's just folding it over twice, and then I'm going to take it to my ironing board and I'm going to press it half an inch this way. Just going to fold in half an inch all the way around the edge of the pocket, so this way, like this, and back up here, so that it would be a lot neater and easier to sew down. So I'm going to do that to both pockets and then attach them to my back, because by the time both legs are sewn together, it's going to be pretty difficult to do that. So you want to make sure you do that before, like, you put all of the pieces together. I also just realized, oh my goodness, before putting the pockets, I actually would need to do the darts. So the darts, I'm just going to do it in the middle of my shorts, so at the middle right here, and I'm going to, I usually make mine about an inch, and then for the length of the dart, I think about 4 inches to 5 inches would be fine for me. And and as you know, a dart is just kind of like a really long triangle, right? So the base is wider, so mine is going to be half an inch here, because it's folded over. So if it's a full inch, then it's half an inch folded over. So half an inch at the base here, and then you just go on a slanted line, and you know, until that tapers out, and so you have like a really slim long triangle. I'm going to do the darts on the back, and then I'm going to prep my pockets and place them on the back pieces. So I would show you what that looks like. And here we are. I have my pockets placed and my darts is right there, and so you can see the two back legs, and those are the front legs, or the front of the legs. And next up, I'm actually going to start joining them together. So I'm going to take the front and the back, lay them together so the right sides of the fabric are facing each other. I'm going to lay them this way, and then I usually start joining my pants and my shorts. I usually join the inner thigh first of all, and then after doing that for both sides, I join the crotch together, which is how you attach the right leg to the left leg, and then I close the outer thigh. So, but you can do this any way that you prefer. This is just how I always do it. So we have here, what we're looking at right now is the wrong side. So I'm going to join the inner thigh, I'm going to do my zipper and everything, and you know, join the outer thigh and all that. And so at that point, you're pretty much almost done. You just need to hem it, put in your waistband. But I'm going to join the legs together, put my zipper in, and show you what that looks like once it's done. Look at that. Look at that. This is what our shorts look like right now. I really like the choice I made to do like the contrasting thing for the pocket. So I like that. So this is what it looks like. I ended up trimming about 1.5 inches, this much from the hem. So yeah, this is the final length that I'm going with, and that's my waistband over there. So I've put in my zip. And everything. This is the front, these are the pockets. This is what the back looks like with the pockets as well. And there we go. Looks really good. So basically all that is left to do is to hem it and then to attach the waistband. So I went ahead and pressed my waistband, and I just wanted to show you. So I tucked in 1/2 inch on both sides, and then I folded it over and just pressed it. If you have I didn't put interfacing on the inside of my waistband because this fabric is really thick, so it's not going to be like, the whole point of interfacing is to give the waistband like some structure, but I'm not going to have that problem with this fabric. But if you're using something lighter, then you definitely want to iron your interfacing on the inside of your waistband. So that said, I'm just going to go around and attach my waistband, and I usually just like sandwich my piece inside of the waistband, so you can see how the waistband is folded. So I just open it up, place the piece of fabric inside, and then place it this way, and then go with a straight stitch all the way down the edge, all around. And yeah, and then at the end of it, I usually just tuck it in, and then there we go. So I'm basically going to do that. So attach my waistband, and then for the hem of my shorts, I'm just going to do a double fold, just a small double fold. That's just folding it twice like that, and go all around both legs, and I would be done. Oh my goodness, this looks so good already. I'm so excited. This is what our shorts look like right now, and we're basically done. I put in my zipper and all of that. I've hemmed it and I've put the waistband, so it's basically done. All that is left to do is actually to put the button. All that's left to do is to put the button here, and then make the buttonhole here, and then like that's it. So I'm just going to head in and put the button up there with my buttonhole, and then I'm going to try it on and show you what it looks like.